Hi there, welcome back to my YouTube channel Supply Chain Sensei. In this video, we'll continuing our discussion on the topic getting your dream supply chain job. This is the very first video of this playlist, and I'm very excited to start this. So let us get started right away. The first topic which I've chosen to be taken or to be discussed in this topic of getting your dream supply chain job is choosing the right organization. Now, when you're looking for a job change or you want to get into your dream supply chain job, you need to properly define what is the dream supply chain job. Now, being a supply chain professional, you would like to be at a place or into an organization which values supply chain. So, what I mean by that, if an organization which is valuing supply chain, uh, the company is ready to invest in supply chain professionals, supply chain technology, supply chain products, projects, and there is resources, time, energy allotted for supply chain. Now, one of the organization for which I was working, that was very sales driven organization. The supply chain proposals, projects, or views were not so much considered important. So there are such organizations we have which doesn't create a differentiation, or which in their business strategy doesn't have supply chain as in a very good position. So we as supply chain professionals should be targeting those companies which value supply chain, and for them having a good supply chain management is a very vital. So when you are looking for a job change, please try to target top supply chain companies. Now, how you can get to know about um, top supply chain companies? There is something called as Gartner ranking. If you're not aware about this, so Gartner is one of the consulting organization, and it's known for its supply chain benchmarking, consulting, uh, the tools, techniques related to supply chain. Gartner is known amongst it, and every year it releases top 25 supply chain companies, and I'll just take you to their website. And yeah, so here we go. So this is 2022 top 25 supply chain companies. So they also have a criteria based upon which they calculate. If you just navigate somewhere in the website, you should be able to find it. Okay, I just had it somewhere. Okay, I'll just paste this link and into the description box. You can go through this in detail, where it talks about on what basis they have been, they have been attributed in this. So as you can see here, they have mentioned certain details, but we won't go into that for now. So here are the list of top 25 supply chain companies, which has companies like Cisco, Scandler, Colgate, Johnson and Johnson, PepsiCo, and the list goes on. So it's not just limited to top 25. If you Google, you will also find top 50, top 100 supply chain companies. So what I suggest is to all the supply chain professionals, please target to these companies. So now I've been working in this company, which is General Mills, which is amongst the uh, top 25. It's currently ranked 23rd. This is 2022 ranking. In 2023 ranking, 2023, this is not amongst 25. It is slided down to 29th. But yeah, so I've worked in one of those organization, and I know what difference it makes to work in top 25 Gartner supply chain ranking. So coming back to our discussion, so what you can do, you can have a list of top 50, got top 50, or if it's not top 50, top 100 Gartner supply chain ranking. Look for those companies which are there in your area, or in your location and try to apply from these companies. Now these companies, they have, why we should get into those. They have world class, world class supply chain. You'll be working with world class supply chain technology, uh, then processes. You will have best of the minds, best people in terms of people also. You'll get best supply chain professionals, uh, with which you can work and learn. As there is a study, a research which says that a learning of a person, learning of any person, it happens, when he's working, uh, depends upon, uh, first thing, which is his uh, daily work. Then second type of learning a person will have is with his peer, and third is with external learnings, with external way. So it is when the first one is the daily work. So 30%, 33% of your learning will happen by this, where you're doing your daily job, working on different processes, um, different tools, and this is your on job learning. So 33% of your learning will happen by this way, and next 33% is going to happen with your peers. So this is where it's very important. It's important that in which room you are, the peers which you are working with, how much good they are. So if you have good colleagues, good peers who are good in supply chain, so you also learn well or grow well. And next 33% is happens by external learning, so which you learn out of your job role or out of your uh, company's defined or limited role. So this can be doing some certifications, or the video like this which you're seeing on YouTube, or some book. So these are external learnings. So yeah, so we discussed this so much because these first two are very important. So if you are into a good supply chain organization, the first 2 point will make difference a lot in your life. So as the research says, your 66% of your growth is going to happen because of how your daily work is, and what kind of peers you are working with. So if you are working in a world class supply chain, believe me, you'll see the difference. A company which values supply chain and a company which doesn't value supply chain, you're going to see a huge difference. That was the first point of discussion for today. Let us go to the second point, which is the choosing the right role. It's a very important part. Now, the mindset of generally which folks have is they try to follow a linear path. A linear path in the sense, suppose I start my role as a demand planner. Then I see my future. Okay, after some time I become assistant demand planner. Before that, maybe I become senior demand planner. Then after that, I want to become demand planning manager. Then maybe senior manager. So we think in a very linear way while choosing a job role. So what I generally suggest to the folk, that please try to look for other types of role as well. Now in market there are different or very innovative and new roles are coming up. Like as a demand planner, you will have sometimes a role called as demand analytics. You will have a role in demand analytics, or you may have in forecasting. So with rise of data science and AI, we have a lot of roles which are coming up into the market, which is totally new. And I don't suggest that you should always go through a linear path. Check for the different types of roles. As a demand planner, you can also try to get into sales and operation planning, or you may try to get into IBP, or for that matter you can also try supply planning. So not just always go into the similar types of role. doing just similar type of role and targeting a linear vertical growth, it may look a growth in externally on paper, but in terms of learning it's very less. In terms of getting learning new skills, again it's very less. So eventually, if you want to grow very high and see yourself as a supply chain manager, supply chain leader, then I suggest that you try to go for wide variety of roles. Have some variety in your roles. Try to do some other different types of role as well. So if you ask me, I have worked as a production planner, then demand planner, then I was in demand analyst, and now I'm working as a working in forecasting. So trying different roles gives you different perspective, different learnings that you're going to have. Supply chain as a function is, what I see, is not much deep. It's not much deep. But the width is huge. So if you go for the variety in supply chain, you will get a lot of learning in the width. It's not much deep. So what happens when a function which is not much deep, you working on the same role as a demand planner, then senior demand planner, and assistant manager or demand manager, doesn't add much value. And if you move your roles across and try to do different roles, then eventually you will be fit to become a supply chain manager. So go out, come out of your comfort zone, try different roles. Don't just stick to the traditional linear vertical roles. See what is new into the market, what types of roles are being created. There are roles like supply chain data scientist, demand data scientist, there is procurement analyst. So this new roles which are coming up currently, where the supply chain is going through a digital transformation. There's a lot of automation happening. AI is coming into the picture. We are using data all the more. So try to get into those roles, learn them, and you can always come back to your traditional path of or traditional trajectory which you want to follow. Grow in your core role of supply chain. Yeah. So to summarize in the nutshell, the right role which you are looking for, have your eyes wide open, look for different types of roles and opportunities which are there in the market. Don't just stick to the linear traditional corporate ladder as junior associate, then senior associate, then assistant manager. Go for different types of role. As per my understanding, supply chain is not a function with a lot of depth, but it has the width is huge. So you should try to cover up the width as much as possible by taking different roles into the supply chain. So that was second point which I wanted to make in this video, that choose the right role. And third and the last point which I wanted to make in this particular video is choosing the right technology. This is again very important. When you're looking for your dream job, you should know that what technology you'll be working for in your upcoming job. Now, if you know, there are different supply chain tools which companies use. So there is something called as SAP, then there is Kinaxis, then also there is something called as some new tools like O9 and OMP. Now, as I mentioned just some time back, that the supply chain in most of the organization is going through a digital transformation, and many of them are opting for new tools like OMP, O9, and Kinaxis. So Kinaxis looks more outdated, but SAP looks highly outdated. Many of them are leaving SAP and going to the new tools like OMP and O9. So again, my suggestion is, whenever you're looking for a job change, please look what type of technology, what type of tools they're using. They are still using old, traditional, outdated tools like SAP, and if you get into such role, such profile where you'll be working on such outdated tools, then it may happen in future that your role may become redundant, or when you are looking for a job change, there is no other organization which is still using which is still using SAP or probably using the Kinaxis. So be again choosy in terms of what type of technology your future organization is using. If not today, it might be the case that today they are working on SAP, fine, but they have a plan down the line in 2 years to switch to O9 or switch to OMP or this uh, modern latest um, supply chain planning tool. So that is also fine. Okay, down the line 2 years they'll be switching to O9 or OMP. So the point is that make sure that what type of tools, technologies the organization is using, which you are planning to get into. So I think this is it what I had for this video, the very first video of getting into your dream supply chain job. Before getting into the dream supply chain job, I just wanted to explain how a dream supply chain job actually look like. So we started our discussion with choosing the right organization which actually believes in supply chain, then looking for the right role, not just sticking to the traditional linear vertical growth. And at the end, in the last part of the video, we discussed about choosing the right technology, what type of technology, tools, software your next the next role is using. So that also you should be very careful about. Do that inquiry and carefully choose your job. So this is it for this lesson. If you have any question, put them into the comment box. Don't forget to subscribe and share with those who would like to go through such content. Thank you and have a great day ahead.